Okay, is everything working? Everything's working. Cool. Alright, cool. Welcome to another game dev stream for Ocean War. There's been some developments between the last stream and now, so I thought I would start with that. Let me get my design document up here. I say up as if I'm going to be able to show it. I'm not going to be able to show it. Right? Oh, I can show it. Hold on. In that case. Oh, I don't think it's working. There we go. I can't read it. I can't read. Anyway, I had a playtest with my buddy Joe. For those of you not in the loop, Joe was the one who actually pitched the idea for Ocean War in the first place for VTuber Tiny Game Jam 2026. And he actually hadn't been able to do a playtest of the game since it came out on itch.io. So I caught him on a lucky moment and thought, hey, let's just do that real quick, see if I'm on track, see if there's anything that you see. I didn't do a good job of writing down everything he said, but we're gonna go through some of these anyway. So first off, he played the Game Jam version of the game, and then he also played a build of the game based on the last Unreal Engine 4 update we did, I think about 2 weeks ago. But I adjusted his save file so that way he would have lots of money, lots of ammo, so on and so forth, so he can test out everything. There's a lot of issues. Go figure, if you don't play test your game, or you play test your game in very specific conditions, you don't catch niche issues. So some of those issues included, but were not limited to, the guns not being aligned to enemies when on larger ships, aka if you're on a bigger boat, it's not just bigger horizontally, but also vertically. So remember how we clamped the aiming of the gun so it can't point down? Well, that kind of means that it can't point down at the ships that you're trying to shoot. So the bullets go right over. What else? There was a bunch of other stuff. The last update we did to the weapon system, I forgot to re-implement the checks for enemy tags. So the projectiles couldn't hurt anybody, which was really unfortunate. Then there's stuff that we already knew was bad and I just hadn't gotten around to fixing, like the armor points economy is not great. The ammo economy ain't great. The movement, not great. I haven't played enough boat games. Luckily, he gave me some pointers on how to address that, so we'll be working on that at some point. And then he recommended, instead of having the players use their armor points to buy ammo for each mission, just have the players upgrade their starting ammo for each deployment that they do. So that's some of the feedback that he gave me, the hard feedback, that you need to fix this stuff. But there was some things that he... Oh, you know what? Also, the aiming... sorry, the turn radius thing. Can't see my keyboard. There we go. Dead zone for turning should not be limited to the drawn circle, but the screen space. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, so what does that mean? Basically, in the build of the game, I need to... I'll fix that later. Basically, I made it to where you can only turn when your mouse is in a specific dead zone, right? So let's pretend this cube is the... Oops, gotta hide the Word document for that. Okay, let's pretend this cube is our heads-up display for the turn radius, right? And if I touch the right edge of the cube, the camera will turn right. left, up, down, so on and so forth, right? Let's pretend that's the case. His issue was that he was constantly trying to pull his mouse out this way to turn faster, or out this way to turn faster. But because the mechanic forced you to keep your mouse in the circle in order to turn, it just meant that he wasn't turning when he wanted to. So he recommended making the whole screen be able to detect when you're trying to turn the camera. So that's something else that we'll need to work on. Get that Word document back up here. Come on. Cool. And I think last stream I mentioned that I wanted to schedule some time with him to talk more about the game's design and the scope of what the finished game should look like. You know, how many missions, how many guns, how many ships, what's the progression system, so on and so forth. I needed to talk to him more firmly about this stuff. So we did just that. The long document. Probably... Where did I write this stuff? Oh, there we go. Project specifics. Okay. So, for the uninitiated, probably should have started with this actually. Ocean War is based on a PS2 game called Naval Ops Warship Gunner. And so a lot of the mechanics that he wants to see in this project come directly from that game. Issue being, I've never played that game, and he's still trying to figure out a way to get me to come over and play the game. Because as far as we've been able to search on the internet, no one's been able to emulate it. So we'll be setting that up at some point, but he gave me some pointers. So for one, the game is split up across 5 campaigns. Each campaign has a set of missions. We decided on a number for that, 10 missions per campaign. And each campaign, highlight that word, each campaign is essentially a environment. So for example, maybe Campaign 1 takes place on the coast of California, Campaign 2 takes place on the Gulf of Mexico, Campaign 3 is on the Gulf of, on the border of Japan or something like that, so on and so forth. And then you do 10 missions in that environment with different enemy spawns, weather conditions, etc., etc. So I pitched to him a story for the game. We're going to have to write that story at some point, but at least we have an idea that we can work off of. That story idea being that I'll just pitch it to you guys the same way I pitched it to him. What if, for the first campaign, you're on a fictional island and you're just getting acquainted with the naval military of this fictional island, right? And an enemy force comes to invade and attack, and so you spend campaign 1 defending the island, getting intel, taking down the local boss. Then your commander, or maybe your character, still got to figure that out, you know, script's not written, decides to get back at the invaders. We're going to take over the world, and so the following campaigns are you taking over different regions of the world. It's a silly idea, but it means that we can make the script really, really funny, and we can make some memorable characters out of that dialogue, and that's the whole reason I pitched it that way. He liked the idea, so we'll probably go that direction, but as for the script, unfortunately, Joe had to go, so that script conversation is going to have to be another day kind of thing. For progression, he wanted to use a research points for skill trees. And I did not take a screenshot of the MS Paint drawing he gave me, but essentially, how the progression would work is there are multiple tiers of progression based on which category you want to upgrade. So maybe if you want to upgrade the weapon category, there's going to be multiple tiers for each weapon that you choose to upgrade. And the upgrades give you different either stat boosts or variants of the weapon. So maybe instead of having a single barrel cannon and a triple barrel cannon, you have an upgrade path to turn the single barrel cannon into a railgun or turn it into a triple barrel cannon. So on and so forth. Stuff like that. We didn't really flesh it out too much, but we had that conversation, so I can think on that as we continue designing this game. And then money is for actually purchasing and equipping the upgrades or something like that. Again, we're going to play the actual original game so I can understand this concept a little bit better in the future. So I told him that when you equip multiple single barrel cannons and triple barrel cannons, I tweaked the game so that way when you click fire, it only fires one at a time. And he actually said, I'd like to have the option to choose between firing one at a time or firing all guns at once. So that's something else we're going to have to look into doing. He named some boats. PT boat, battleship, cruiser, which we already have, kind of. We have models for at least. Aircraft carriers is something he pitched to me when we first were coming up with the game for the game jam. I just didn't know how to make flying AI, so I put it down. But he wanted me to revisit this concept and see if I can get it in. But also something called battleship aircraft carriers, which I know nothing about boats. So I'm gonna have to work with him on that one. And then he said that in the original in the original Naval Ops Warship Gunner game, there we go. You couldn't play as submarines, but there were submarines as an enemy type. So he wanted me to explore that possibility as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the feedback he gave me. I'm so glad we had this conversation because it gives me some stronger direction to work with for this project. I didn't really get a lot of time to work on the game this week. I'm sure some people saw my announcement tweet for the schedule for this week and were like, hey, why is it only one day? What do you mean you got behind the scenes work? Well, I changed the streaming background. Probably see that. I added a little banner at the top left to show what projects we've already done, kind of promote them a little bit. It's just a small thing, really. A fire mode toggle shouldn't be too difficult. No, not at all, actually. I think it should be pretty easy to implement, Awen. But a lot of the other mechanics, it's definitely going to take some brain power to do. And truth be told, this whole week has been it's been a week. Not that it's been a bad week. It's just I've been really, really busy with things I'd rather not be busy with. Like changing this whole streaming setup took longer than it should have, I'll admit. And then I think I mentioned before, I definitely have mentioned before, I program at work. Because of the needs of my site, I didn't end up doing any programming this week, so I feel rusty. So instead of, trying to shake off the rust today, I figured, hey, those old boat models are not I can't speak today. The old boat models need to be reworked anyway. Why not just do that today? So that's what we'll be working on. We're just going to start with the 3 boat types that we had in the Game Jam version of the game. And then if we have time to do anything more, we'll use that time to do anything more. But for now... Oh my god, am I really this rusty? There we go. So, I don't think I actually saved all my... Did I draw the boats last time? I genuinely don't remember if I drew the boats last time. And I don't think I saved those photos anywhere. Yeah, I'm not seeing them on my desktop. Yep, I guess we're doing this from scratch. That's okay. Here's the plan. So the PT boats. So, okay, technical stuff first. One thing we discovered about the boat models, and I think I talked about it a second ago, is that the boats were not only different sizes, horizontally, they were also different sizes vertically. Which meant if you put a turret on top of the surface on a PT boat, that was fine. We play tested most of the game using the PT boats under the assumption that all boats were the same height. They were not. So instead of the boat firing, you know, along this straight yellow line here, the turrets would fire on a straight line up here and overshoot the targets. That was what happened in today's playtest, which was very unfortunate. But I should have been playtesting the game under as many circumstances as possible, and I wasn't doing that. So, to fix this issue, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're going to use Blender's grid system here to guide us here. We're going to keep the surface of the boat at 1 block above the baseline. And then any structures above that, we'll just make it to where the user can't put weapons there. Just to kind of fix the issue. I mean, we can probably add some decoration stuff for other purposes, but for the pure sake of the gameplay, we're going to put a technical restriction on ourselves. We cannot go above this 1 grid for the surface of the boat. So on that note, let's start somewhere small with the PT boat. The PT boat is meant to be just a small little gunner boat. It has almost no surface area, so you have enough room for a gun in the front, a gun on the side, back, and maybe torpedoes on both sides. So to kind of help support that, let's see if we can't just bring in those assets real quick. Where did I save all that stuff? There we go. Boat. And then let's grab a torpedo. Okay. So the PT boat needs to be different sizes here. Let's put this on the grid a little bit just so we can get some ideas here. Let's have the torpedo be 3 grid spaces. Oops. Yeah, 3 grid spaces there. And same thing over here. Cool. So the PT boat needs to be slightly wider than this, and definitely longer. Let's go with these wider grid spaces as a baseline for the PT boat scale. So let's do this. We'll just start with some vague distances here. And actually, let's use the mirror modifier. That might save us some good time. Actually, before I do that, just get this that has faces. Cool, now we add the mirror modifier. Generate mirror. Look at that. Pretty solid. Cool. So now we can just work without too much concern for that. Let's go with about that wide should be decent. Yeah, that should be pretty good. And then just to make sure that scale works, let's grab the turret base. That doesn't look like the right turret base. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Let's go here. Updated assets. Here we go. Turret base. Feels like the boat should be a little bit longer. Maybe we'll do 1.5 tiles. Let's get that to about halfway. There we go. Yeah, that looks a little more manageable. All right, so now we need to start modeling it to be more boat-like. For one, the front end needs to be narrower. So let's grab that. Let's go this way, and then we'll go like that. And then let's subdivide here. So that way we can get a more straight line in the back. Yeah, actually that is a great looking shape. What else can we do? We definitely want to subdivide here so we can build out the top of the boat. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's put this vertice here. That'll be the front of the boat's... It's not called cockpit, is it? No, it's called the bridge. The front of the bridge. Another subdivide there. And we'll put the back of the bridge here. Then let's select our face. And then we can start fleshing it out from here. So how do we want to go about this? Let's do this. Wireframe going. Let's make oh, is it not letting me extrude? Oh, because I'm not selecting a vertex, I'm selecting the center of the 3D space. Whoops. Okay, so we have this go 3 to the left and 2 back. So let's just mimic that. Maybe just do 2 and 3 instead. That way we have room for the torpedoes. Then we'll extrude this back. Look that up. That's a pretty narrow bridge, but PT boats are not meant to be manned by a huge team of people. So we'll just operate on that assumption. Let's raise this up a bit. Then to give it a little more character, we'll go to the side. Let's drop this down. What does that look like? Pretty rough. Let's subdivide here. Grab that vertice. Bring it up to match this. That up. It looks like it could be okay. Next, what we want to do, let's subdivide this length as well as this length. And what we'll do is we'll grab these vertices. I want to put a freaking, how do I want to say this? Yeah, I think, look that up, subdivide that. I wanted to put like a, I think it's called a mast. Man, I really need to brush up on my boat terms. I really have no idea. And then just raise that up. Maintain the silhouette of the original boat design a little bit. Let's see if we can't make faces out of this. There we go, and then do the same here. Maybe add some subdivisions here. Or do some triangles. And then hook these up a little bit like that. I think I want this to go... Nah, it's fine. We don't want to complicate this too much. So we have some features here. Get the torpedoes up a little bit so we can see them. And then there's enough room for this to exist on the back. Yep. I think all that's left is to add some decorative rails. But the silhouette of the boat is here. I feel like I need something more. Maybe if we what if we get rid of this face, subdivide all of this, connect this, subdivide that, and let's add another smaller mast to here. That looks extremely silly, actually. I don't think I wanted that. There we go. We'll just maintain this. It's not a big deal. What would happen if we subdivided this further? I mean, I kind of figured, but seeing it is kind of a lot. That's okay. Let's save this project. Videos file? Sure, we'll call it the boat project. Okay, we'll use this as our baseline at the very least. We're not going to add any details to these models because I just need something to visually represent what we're working with. I think we'll use the yellow line as our water line too, which is probably a good idea. Okay, so next thing we need to do is do the battleship. Now, an issue that we had with the original version of this game, and I'm going to use a similar PT boat for reference. Basically, by comparison to the PT boat, the battleship was like this big, and also this wide. Actually, that might actually be pretty close to how wide it really was. And it was just too much, really. Not to mention that the cruiser was basically the same size, except... Oops. Nope. Except it was this thin. Which meant that the cruiser was technically only better gameplay-wise because of your health, not because of the surface area available to you, and that was not my intention. Oh, excuse me. So... we need to make the battleship be basically only like a little bit bigger. And then the cruiser needs to be a little bit bigger than that. We don't want to go too crazy on scale. So I don't know why I deleted the copy, because I kind of want to use that as a baseline. So we'll just start by making it maybe like 1.5 bigger. Then we'll just make sure we're on those grid spaces. Something like that should be about right. Okay, so let's hide the original boat so we can see what we're working with here. I didn't hide the original boat. What did I hide? Oh, the torpedoes. There we go. Okay, let's line those up. That should be about right. Okay, so we want to give the battleship a little more character than this. So, oh, I didn't even move the backline. Whoops. So let's look at the original boat for comparison. Basically, I want to go up here. Okay, now to give this boat a little more personality. Get rid of these faces. Cool. And then go back to vertice selection. Let's take these edges here. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's try. Let's bring them back quite a bit. And then let's try and squeeze these in. Here's what we need to do. Maybe I should just rebuild this from the start. Not the whole boat, but the housing. There we go. This is what we're working with here. Maybe it would be better to have this be wider in the back. Then maybe bring it in back a little bit. Yeah, let's go with that a little bit. And then just square this a little more. Okay, let's build this up. Oh, you know what? Now the backline doesn't have a lot of room. Okay. Man, space economy is weird. Let's bring this up. Okay. Stack this up. Let's do layers to this. We'll add a layer like that. Then maybe make it tighter toward the top, just to give it a little more personality. Yeah, you know what? I kind of like that, actually. Okay, let's do that. And then let's do a... Grab these 4 vertices again, just do the same thing. Just extrude it inward. Oops. Okay. Then let's just make this go straight up, I think. It's going to be the final thing. Just make it straight up. Oh, that looks scuffed. Okay. I think I see what I did wrong there. So just grab these vertices here, slide them back up here. That's certainly a silhouette for a boat. Maybe just have this front one be the only one that still goes back. Maybe also lower this. Yeah, that's certainly a silhouette of all time. Anyway, this will be our visual representation for the battleship. You know what I probably should do is export the base model of the PT boat so we can at least test small boat gameplay before we start working on the big stuff. Yeah, let's do that actually. So first off, hide you, make you visible. And let's make sure we calculate our normals. I don't think we need to do anything else crazy for this. Let's export this as an FBX. I already forgot where we saved all our boat stuff. There it is. We'll call this PT boat. Yeah, just PT boat. Go to content drawer, content, 3D models. And we'll call this, oh, Unreal, please, don't crash. Okay, thank you. We'll call this test boats. And make a folder for our PT boat. Get a drink of water while we're at it. Okay. Oh, I didn't apply the modifier for mirror. I didn't apply the mirror modifier. That's on me. I should have been paying attention to what I'm doing. Especially since this is all I'm doing. Oh. Why? Let's try that again. Okay. Maybe... Ah, I see. There we go. Now let's try that again. So just delete these assets. There we go. And then... Cool. Alright, now we can add this to our gameplay. And you go to content, blueprints, player BP, optimization, debug. There we go. Okay, so the scaling is a little bit much, but we can work on this. I wonder, actually, there's an easier way to do this. We just go back to... Nope. I can't read. Test boats, PT boat. I was hoping to do re-import mesh with the scaling changes. I just have to do that the old-fashioned way. Let's re-import it and scale it by offset uniform scale. Okay, that is the value I want to change. Let's change that by, let's make it like half the size. We'll see if that works the way I think it does. Yeah, okay, cool. It's still a little bit big, but we can work with this. Make it half that size. Yeah, see? I love how the turrets look around. Cool. So that is the scale that we want to test with. Oh, I did see a funny bug when I was doing my feedback playtest with the with Joe. So let's say I put the turret there, there, and there, right? Load up the combat level. If I point into the void, they're pointing down at that cube, right? Well, if I move... Oh, it's so funny. It is so funny. So let's do the shooting mechanic update that we talked about earlier, where Joe wanted the option to fire all at once, essentially. So let's get the, we'll just do placeholders throwing in here. Hopefully that didn't affect how the camera looks. We'll test it real quick. Okay, that did affect the camera, and the boat's also facing the wrong way. So let's set this back to 1. Let's do that instead. Now do 0.5. Rotate it by 90 degrees this way. Now the issue is going to be the camera is... Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. So now that we actually have the model, we can see what we're working with. Drag this back a bit. Drag this up, and then maybe rotate the camera down. Let's go 20 degrees. See how that looks. It's doable. It's doable. We'll need to change it later, but at least that gives us the ability to test the game. I also haven't done the... I haven't fixed the movement system either. So, for people like me who don't understand boats very well, boats can't do a lot of things. For one, they can't do horizontal movements like this. And if you remember the Game Jam version of the game, we made it to where when you hold right, it lets you kind of vertically? It lets you move horizontally, but it turns your boat at the same time. That's also not how boats work. And I think what we ended up doing in the last Unreal Engine 4 version of this build was we made it to where when you hold left or right, as long as you're holding forward, then you'll start turning, which is also not how boats work. If you have any momentum, turning should turn your boat. So we're gonna try and implement this real fast after. We'll do the shooting mechanic after. So how I think we're gonna do this is we need to get the character movement, get velocity. I want to get the speed of how we're moving. And then, is it greater than... Oh, it doesn't do that. Okay. Get vector length. vector length. There we go. Then is that greater than 0? And then what we're going to do is essentially this. Just do both forward and horizontal movement at the same time. Let's just see how that feels. It's probably not going to feel right. This is just an idea I came up with. So let's try moving forward first. Okay, I mean, it's not quite. Not quite. It was an attempt. It was an attempt. So let's do this. Just to see if that works the way I think it's working. Okay, I can't move forward or not forward. I can't move left or right. If I move backward, now I can kind of go horizontal. That's a start. I want to test something. Nope, I hard stop when I stop moving. Oh, I think the turret has collision too. Okay. There's a lot of things I need to do, which is not a surprise, but weapons, turret parent, make sure that has no collision. Oh, it does have no collision. What's our stuttering for then? Is it because this mesh is colliding with something? Let's turn off the skeletal mesh collision, see if that helps. 0, and then... Okay. What about the actual static mesh? Nope, we're still jittering. We don't jitter when we go forward, left, and right, but we go jittery if we go backwards. So I think maybe it's colliding with the camera? Maybe that's in the spring arm, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Do collision test. Let's turn that off. Nope, camera is still jittery. Interesting. Not sure why it's jittering so much, only when we go backwards though. Is it because I'm checking for the vector length being greater than 0? Nope, that's not it. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. We'll come back to that. Let's get the shooting taken care of since it's still on my brain. So what we want to do, let's add a Boolean variable. We're going to call it single or all fire. It should be a question. Let's just make it single fire, question mark. And then what we'll do is pull this back, pull these back, get a branch. And then if it's true, we'll use the new firing system. And then if it's false, actually, there's an easier way to do this. Yeah, so basically, we'll put the branch here, because right now, you know, is the cannon firing, reloading? If not, then fire, right? And then this breaks the loop, so that way it stops as soon as one gun fires. What we want to do is put the branch here. And then if single fire is true, do that. And if it's false, it should fire all the guns. I think that's all we need to do to get that to work, but we'll test it. So compile and save, just in case, save everything. So we'll put one turret here and one turret here. Okay, so both of them fired at once. I also don't have a way to change whether single fire is true or not. It's currently set to false, so that's why all of them fired. So let's do keyboard. Do I have anything set to on the one key? I do not. Okay. So we'll do a flip-flop node here. And then we'll tie this like that. I think that's all we need to do to test this. So we fire both. I'm going to hit 1. Then that should be enough time for it to reload. Hey, it's just that simple. Cool. Now we have a way to implement that. So you know what? Since I'm remembering this stuff, let me open the Word document and document what we're doing here. Oh my god, what's happening? Down we go. You have no idea what kind of hell I have to go through to do the setup. Okay. So beneath the feedback that we got from Joe for the playtest, we'll do Blender. Modeled prototype testing boats. BT boat. Battleship. And then updated. Or here, one thing at a time. Replaced static mesh in customization character and combat character with BT I'm already forgetting my formatting. BT boat model. Updated combat character. Added ability to switch between single fire and all cannon fire boats. Yeah, that was actually like a lot simpler to implement than I was expecting, which thank God. I don't need more complicated stuff in this project. Okay, so the aiming on the turret, I don't think we properly implemented the clamping. We also didn't comment on our stuff, which might be important. Fire a cannon. It's always important to make it to where you can understand what you're looking at a glance. That turret head rotation. Oh, I did put a clamp. Oh, I clamped the horizontal, it looks like. So the pitch needs to be clamped. I doubt that's the fix. Yeah, that just made things worse. Okay. Let me reopen my Unreal 4 project, because the Unreal 4 project still has the clamp working correctly. While that's loading, let's just try this method. Yes. And see how this might cause issues. Okay. So funny story. This week, I was working on not just this streaming background, but some video project stuff. I did start editing the video for the VTuber Tiny Jam 2025 summary video. By the way, that was really fun to record. I had to do like 4 takes, and each take had stuff that was amazing and stuff that sucked. But while I was editing that, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be really cool to make like actual trailers for the game projects that I have done, and then like put them on itch and also upload them to YouTube, so that way, get a little more eyes on those projects just for fun. Dude, I think it's my laptop because, okay, for a little bit of context, my desktop is an AMD, has an AMD GPU, and my laptop uses an NVIDIA GPU. Now, I know that a lot of games just have issues on one or the other. Why? I don't know. That's just how the gaming industry is. But when trying to play the games on my laptop, I ran into bugs that I never had on my desktop. And it was just like, how? Why? What's happening? And that took forever to look into properly. Oh, hold on. I think I see where I'm going wrong here. So, first of all, just simplify some of this. That goes there. Ow. Just punched my desktop. Negative 90 and 0 should be the clamp there. And actually, there's no clamp here. This is just this. So in theory, well, that theory is proving wrong at the moment. Make sure I got those hooked up correctly. Yaw is hooked up correctly. Pitch. Roll, pitch, yaw, roll, pitch, yaw. Roll goes to pitch. I have everything hooked up the exact same way, and yet it's not operating the same. Interesting. Anyway, because of those bugs, I decided not to record trailers for the games. Because then it made me want to reopen those projects and see if I can fix all of them, which I can't. So let's try 180 here. That's unique. Let's do 0 and 90. Here, let's just go into the game. Here's what we need to do. We need to put something in the world that's above the player. We need to open the mission level. And let's grab another cube and just put it really high in the air. That might be too high. Okay, so by putting a positive 90, I can't aim up, but I can aim down. Okay, so we need to set that to be a maybe negative 90. I think that actually got us what we were looking for. Yep, that's what I was looking for. Whee! My voice. Okay, at least the turret is now aiming level, and that was the goal. So, good stuff. Let's note that down. Oh shoot, I was editing with the Word document blocking the whole time, wasn't I? Whoops. Okay, here's what I did. I got rid of the clamp that was here for the yaw. I changed the clamp value from positive 180 to negative 180 to 0 and negative 90. And now the turret can only aim on a horizontal axis. It can't aim up or down. And even when I point out into the zone, you can see it stays horizontal. Cool. So as long as we design the enemy ships to be level with the turrets, we should have no more aiming issues. But let's note that in the Word document. I gotta remember to hide it again when we're done. Whoops. What am I doing? Okay. Updated. Turret, parent, BP. Just turret parent. You only rotate the turret on a horizontal axis. There we go. Okay, good stuff so far. We should probably get an enemy created so we can test out stuff, which also means we should probably get a wider arena to work with. So it looks like we have an enemy blueprint. It doesn't have anything in it. So let's add the basic stuff that we had before. So event begin play. We need to do a couple of different things here. So let's go custom event. Attack the player. Get another custom event. We'll say scatter. Now the behavior we want to do is when the enemies first spawn into the level, we want the enemies to be able to essentially beeline to the player, and once in range, attack. And once they've launched their attack, to essentially scatter. We want them to be like, retreat. We were doing hit and runs. That's the idea for the PT boat anyway. So, to do that, event begin play, attack the player is the first thing we need to do. We need to do AI move to get a reference to self. And then get player character. And then the acceptance radius, I think we originally had it at like 500. But if the player is using a much, much bigger ship, like a battleship or a cruiser, that range doesn't make a lot of sense because now the boats are practically kissing each other. So we'll change that to, let's test it with 1,000 units, and then we'll go from there. Let's change the name of this event actually, because shooting is gonna have to be a different event. Let's go to, we'll call it rush the player. And then add another custom event. Shoot. Get all actors of class with tag. And we'll make the tag the name of the actor. Get object name. And the reason I'm doing this is my brain. Hold on. It's catching up with me. Let me drink some water. So the reason we want to do this is so that way the AI essentially don't try to shoot each other's guns, which hindsight tells me that it's not what happened in the H.io version of the game, but it's fine for each loop. And then let's go cast to, actually, hold on, combat character. Switch on enum, yes. I'm also pulling up the original project version of this. Sure that maybe we don't need to just shooting mechanic. It doesn't look like we need to complicate this any further. Try getting the AI blueprint up base. Here we go. Here we go. Shoot. The player. Oh, I just made them fire the one weapon they had on hand. Okay, so I do kind of need to do this on my own. That's fine. So, based on that... Well, the enemies aren't going to be switching weapons, so let's get a child actor. We'll call it weapon 1. Oops. Let's hide you. No collision. Add a static mesh. Quote. There we go. And then for the child actor, add that to the weapon. Not add the weapon to the boat. Yes, that's what I wanted. And then we'll just give it a regular turret just to see how that's gonna work out. Turret parent. There we go. It looks so funny. Okay, so something I want to check. Oh, that boat is really small. Oh, that's why. So if we set this back to 1, let's actually undo all that. Then change this back to 1. There we go. Now the turret is a little more appropriately sized. Ta-da! Cool. So the turret parent currently decides how it's aiming. based on a branch, which we don't actually need to do. What we really want to do is actually, yeah, we do, because we want to use the player controller. So if false, we want to do something different. So let's grab this node here, drop it down there. Go like this. Make it look a little prettier by doing this. And then grab all the same stuff, except the player controller part. Make sure this is all hooked up correctly, like so. And then what we want to do is get actor with tag. And we want to use the owner tag. So get tag. Nope, not you. Maybe get a reference to self. Get tags. Owner tag. Set owner tag. Let's do that. Get all actors with the owner tag. Get a copy. Get AI controller. Okay, Do I still have the Unreal 4 project? How did the turrets aim in? Turret parent. Oh, they just aimed at the player character. Okay, well, that kind of simplifies things a lot, doesn't it? Well, let's do that then. We don't need to complicate this any further. Drop you, reconnect. Get player character. Get world location. Actually, is it better to do get actor location? Yeah, it is. There we go. And then we can test this. There we go. Very nice. Cool. We need to add a nav mesh to this environment. So actually, before we do that, let's scale this up quite a bit. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's drag you over here and to the corner. Okay. Let's move you to a different corner so I can actually see you when I spawn. Then we need to add a nav mesh, navigation mesh, nav mesh bounds volume. There we go. Let's increase the snapping to 10. There we go, and then do the same thing on the x-axis here. Slide to the right. It looks like the nav mesh is generating correctly. I don't know why that's detecting the boat right there when it's not. Maybe if I build it. Should only take a second. There we go. Alright, let's test this. Oh, you know what? I forgot. You need to set auto possess. And also, did I even give the enemy AI a proper controller? I don't think I did. Blue. Nope, not you. Oh, Unreal, don't crash. Thank you. AI controller. We'll call it, oh. We'll call it enemy controller. Go back to here, class defaults. Enemy controller. And then possess, spawned or placed in world. It is not moving. That's not encouraging. Event begin play. Move to target actor. Here, on success, print string. I wonder why it's not detecting itself. It's also not detecting us getting closer, so that's not great. Then begin play, rush the player. Rush the player. AI move to self, player character. Is it maybe in the ground? Doesn't look like it. Here, let's go back to the enemy. Do a print string, make sure it's even starting ticked. Okay, event begin play is working. It's just not moving. Nav mesh bounds. It is taller than the floor, so that's good. We shouldn't have to do anything in the enemy controller. Start with tick enabled, yep. Class defaults. Start with tick enabled, okay. Not entirely sure what it's looking for here. Input. Nope. Look at the Unreal 4 project, see if maybe there's something I'm missing here. Okay, enemy actor. Nope, I'm not doing anything differently. What about the class default? Placed in world respond. I'm not sure why it's not working. Go back down there. And the combat character, the class defaults are by comparison. Not very different. What if we just try this? It shouldn't change anything. Okay, how about instead of the player character, just try to move to 0.0000. Just doesn't want to move. What is your problem, bro? It does have a character movement component, so that shouldn't be what's restricting it. I'm just not sure what it's asking of me. Might be something we have to come back to. Well, we can actually work on the shooting mechanics in the meantime. Let's give the enemy some health. Make it float. And then event any damage. Get health minus damage. It's pretty straightforward. Then get a branch. Is health less than or equal to 0? Destroy actor. Oh, whoops. Here we go. Cool. So next, we need to make sure our projectile does damage. Blueprints, weapon, prepare projectile. Actor begin overlap, actor has tag. That. Apply damage, okay. Oh shoot, does the enemy even have the enemy tag? That's the other thing. Class defaults. Tag. Actor. Enemy. Okay, and then where is this tag value coming from? Hopefully the turret. On fire cannon. Spawn actor projectile. That does not inspire confidence. Tags. Where's declare owner? So the tag in its array should be the owner tag. So set the tag. Event begin overlap. Does the actor have the owner tag? If yes, destroy yourself. If not, apply damage. Okay, so this should just actually work. Oh, I didn't even set the health of the enemy. Da, 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 da. Give the enemy a default value of 10. And let's give the turret projectile a damage value of 5. So that should be 2 shots. Well, let's make it 10. Let's make it a 1 shot. That's not good. Okay. Are you even overlapping with anything? Okay. Is that because the enemy's collisions aren't set up correctly? Oh, you know what? I did disable the collisions for that. So let's get a box collision. We'll call it the hurt box. And let's make it... It's not letting me choose the scale option on my hotkeys. Let's just make it a little bit sizable. Okay, that doesn't inspire confidence. Interesting, okay. Let's try that. Nope. Okay. Does the actor have tag? Well, it's not even detecting that it's colliding. Actor begin overlap. Overlap all dynamic. Can I do overlap all? Maybe that's what I need to do. Get closer so we can actually see the collision happen, maybe. Oh. So why did it not work before? Oh, is the turret projectile... Maybe I have a lifespan on it and that lifespan is too small? Lifespan 0. Okay, so that means infinite. Let's get rid of this tag. Interesting. At range, it's not detecting it, it seems. Here, let's change the turret projectile's light color so we can see it better. Let's make it a blue, maybe. Nope. Okay, that yellow surface is just way too bright. Can we change that? Let's make it a green, sure. Don't crash. Thank you. Oh, we have gravity on the projectile. Why do we have gravity on the projectile? That's on me. I didn't even check that. Psh, it's this. It's just that simple. Cool. All right. Well, that's one problem fixed. Okay. So shooting, at least we know, is working. Still not sure why the enemy AI is nuts, though. Let me try one more thing, and then we'll do some Googling or something. Nav mesh needs rebuild. Okay, build it. Oh, is it just the nav mesh is not working? I think that's what it is. Why would it not be working though? I don't think it's building the... It says navigation building complete, but it keeps saying I need to generate the navigation again. Okay, time to use Google. Go here. Real Engine 5. Navigation volume not building. Often stems from partition settings, missing recast navmesh instances, or disabled auto updating. Change runtime generation to dynamic in the project set. Okay, I don't like that. I have to change the project settings for that. Runtime. Dynamic. And then build. I don't think that changed anything. Unchecking is world... Oh my god. Checking is world partition enabled for navigation. Okay. Partition. Navigation system. It says uncheck that. Deleting and re-adding the nav mesh. Okay, well, I hate to do that, but if that's what it takes. Nav. Mesh bounds volume. Yeah, it should just be this. Still not... It doesn't seem like it's working still, though. Because normally if it was going to show the navigation, it would be a very vibrant green right here, but it's not. Okay, there's more project settings that Forum is recommending I try, so let's try those. Go to project settings, level editor, level editor, level editor. Miscellaneous. I don't see anything beyond this, so that's not a good sign. Maybe I just gotta search it in all settings. Okay, all settings. Update. Navigation. Nope. Navigation. If true, we'll try to spawn the navigation data instance in the sublevel with navigation bounds. If false, it will spawn in the persistent level. Okay, I don't think that's it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that looks like what it's describing to me. Recast nav mesh? Is that a thing? I don't see a recast nav mesh. Oh, there it is. So if I do this and this, and then add the nav mesh bounds, would that fix it? Nav mesh bounds volume. Oh, yep, that, wow. So, there we go. Now let's test it. AI is still not doing anything. At least we know the nav mesh is generating now. Event begin play. AI move to destination 000. Maybe it doesn't do anything if it's 000. Nope, that AI is still not responding. Oh, maybe because it's still building the navigation? We'll let this run. We'll let this run. In the meantime, we should update our notes. Okay. Updated enemy character. Replace static mesh with PT boat. Added. Oh my god. Parent. Charge at the player function. That's pretty much all we've done so far. Okay, back to the project. Ah, the flashbang. Yeah, sorry about that. I genuinely, that Word document is in dark mode. I don't know how to make it any better. Hopefully we don't need to do that again for a while. You know, I could add a filter. Hold on. I'm gonna try and do this blind. If I add a filter effect onto that Word document, let's try the backlight. And oh, it won't show me the preview because the Word document's invisible. All right, let's just try the default settings. And then load up the Word document. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. I'll leave that on for now. Okay, close that Word document. Nav mesh bounds have been generated. So now, if we play, the AI should rush us. What is your problem, man? Why don't you want to move? Get out of here. We literally let the nav mesh bounds get generated, and yet the AI doesn't want to. Maybe the issue is that the AI considers itself blocking, but that's not how it worked in Unreal 4. Unreal 4 handled it just fine. Just to test this idea, here's what we're gonna do. Go back in here. We'll create a new blueprint. It's gonna be an actor, and we'll call it enemy spawner. We need to make these anyway, so why not do it now? We'll go in here, and then we'll add a custom event. We'll call it spawn enemy. I spelled enemy wrong, but don't worry about it. Spawn actor from class. We'll get the enemy character. Get actor transform. Plug that in right there. And then to trigger this, what we'll do, just for testing purposes, this will not be in the final version of the game, obviously, but let's get a keyboard input. We'll use number 2. And then we will get all actors of class. Get the enemy spawner for each loop. Cast to enemy spawner. And spawn enemy. And then the only thing left to do to make this work is delete this enemy actor. Rebuild the nav mesh. Thank you. And then we'll put the enemy spawner right here.
No, you should put it over there.
How dare you? Oh shit, I don't have the freaking Discord face thing working. That's okay. They can hear you. That's what matters, right? How's it going, John? Or as other people may know you, twitch.tv/mini11.
I have been very busy.
Oh yeah?
Yep, been working a lot.
You expect it to slow down for the summer?
Nope.
Nope.
If anything, it's going to pick up.
That sucks. Are you still bouncing between your two sites?
Yep.
That sucks. They must love you. Are you planning to stream this weekend?
No, we are celebrating birthdays tomorrow. I might tonight, but again, that's a baby.
That's a maybe. Gotcha.
Let's see. What am I looking at? That's what I'm looking for.
I'm not entirely sure why this is not working, and it's kind of getting annoying.
I worked 41 hours last week, and every day it's between 5 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon.
Jeez, dude. What are you gonna do with yourself?
Catch up on bills.
Fair enough. Have you been playing any games at all, or just not really?
A little bit, not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. Any of them have been particularly fun, or just kind of whatever?
I've been playing the Toho farming sim, the Toho Stardew.
How's that, by the way? I don't think you ever told me what you thought of it.
Now that it's gotten some updates, it's a lot better.
Oh, it wasn't that good at launch?
Well, I mean, it launched in alpha, so
Oh.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it was incomplete.
I didn't realize it launched in alpha. I thought it was a 1.0 release.
Not
Not
it's
at
not
all.
even 1.0 right now. It's 9.5.
Oh, so they actually think they're pretty close then.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Then I bought Resident Evil Requiem, but I ended up returning that. So now I got $80 on Steam that I don't know what
Oh,
to
you
do
ended up
with.
returning it?
Yeah.
Was it just not like to your taste, or like what was up?
I wasn't having nearly as much fun as I thought I would, and I'm like, yeah, $80 for a game that I'm probably going to beat once. No, thank you.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Have you figured out what you're going to use the refund money for?
Nope.
Nope. I actually returned a pretty expensive game today. Yesterday. Goodness sakes. This week, I saw a video from Happy147 where he talked about the new No Man's Sky, not No Man's Sky. Man, my brain is not in it today. Starfield update. And I was like, you know what? I've never given Starfield a chance. It sounds like people want others to give it a chance. I'll give it a chance. So I bought it for, I think it was $60. And dude, Loading screens don't usually bother me, but man, loading screens destroy that game.
That's rough.
Yeah, I got done with the first couple set of quests, and then it was like, you need to jump to another planet, and I'm like, I had to sit through 5 loading screens just to land on this planet the first time. I'm not leaving this planet. So I finally realized, the gameplay annoyances aside, even the freaking writing wasn't clicking with me. In fact, the writing was atrocious, character-wise. Not even plot-wise, just the characters. I couldn't stand it, so I returned it. I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, you know, Bethesda has
Yeah.
proven that they can do better. I don't need to keep giving them the benefit of the doubt if I'm not having fun. Let me try and rebuild the enemy.
I'm debating if I
character.
want to spend it on some of the games that I have in my wish list because I got 3 games in my wish list right now that are 40% off or more.
It might be worth doing then.
Well, a lot of them I don't think would be a lot of fun.
No? What are
By myself, no.
here? Just name a couple. Let's hear it. Let's hear it
Well,
out.
the one that I'm really leaning towards buying, it's a JRPG. Have you heard of Dokapon Kingdom?
No, I have not.
So they released it on Steam, like an HD remake on Steam called Dokapon Kingdom Connect. First off, they released it for way too fucking much money.
Oh?
It's $50 when it's not on sale.
Oh.
This is a PS2 game.
Okay.
Like a PS2 Wii game. Now, it's on sale for $15. I'd pay $15 for it.
Okay. So now that it's in more your price range, it's kind of like a maybe.
Yeah. But the problem is, it's a Mario Party JRPG.
I'm sorry, what?
You heard me.
I guess I did.
It is a Mario Party JRPG, but it probably has one of the funnest RPG mechanics that I really enjoy. The Mario Party aspects will make you want to kill each other. So, like, the goal of the game is to amass as much money as you can to marry the king's daughter.
Interesting.
And, like, in any RPG, it takes forever to get through the base game. And, like, think of a turn-based Mario Party RPG game where you can and possibly will hit level 99. That's how long it usually takes to play. Like, I'm talking like a year. It's ludicrous.
Sounds like it.
But anytime you
Sorry, real quick. Dazed Arcade looks like that's not the reason why. And I mean, Unreal usually lets you use the target actor regardless. So I don't think that's the solution. Sorry, go ahead, John.
But the RPG aspect that I really like about it is if you max out a class, it gives you the stats per level that that class normally gives you.
Mm.
Like, so you level up, you have your attributes, and then the class gives you additional attributes. So warrior, like the starting classes only give you one additional attribute. But if you max out that class, you continuously getting that additional attribute forever. Until a cap of 999.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that it's a PS2, it's like a remake of that game on Steam?
Yeah, it's a remake of a PS2 game, an HD update. And it's online co-op.
Pretty neat.
Well, I wouldn't say co-op, it's online PvP. because, like I said, it's Mario Party. Actually, if anything, it's closer to 100% orange juice than the Mario Party.
Let's try using this simple move to actor node. Man, Unreal 5 is just not working today. Are there other games that you're planning to look at for?
No, not really. Like I have, again, all the ones that I have that are on sale are ones that are like multiplayer. So like Core Keeper, Age of Empires 2. That's about it. Like the only non multiplayer game is Dispatch, but I honestly don't want it.
And I may just have to. Okay, so for your context, sir, we're still working on building
The boat game.
but we're running into a weird issue where I'm trying to remake the AI, and the AI is not moving, despite me doing literally everything that you normally do to make AI.
I would love to help you, but
It is
I have
in my
no
hearts
idea.
that I would wish to assist you with. However, the available skill set afforded to me would be insufficient to support your cause.
Yeah. I do not know, nor have the want to learn Unreal.
If you were to like make a game, do you know what tools you'd want to use to make it?
Oh, it would be Unreal.
Oh, it would be Unreal.
Yeah. I don't want to make a game.
Period. End of sentence. Thank you.
It would honestly, if I would have to like absolutely start in the bare minimum, it would be RPG Maker. Because it's going to be an RPG.
That makes a lot of
But
sense.
eventually I'm going to want to learn Unreal.
Yeah, RPG Maker, there's a lot of cool things you can do with it that people don't know about. Like, I looked into it a little bit, and I was just like, man, the things people can make with it.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to remember, there was a game that came out somewhat recently. I say somewhat recently, last 5 years. That was made on Unreal, not Unreal, freaking, oh my god. I swear I slept enough yesterday. It used RPG Maker, and it was like a real-time combat system of some kind. It was just like, what? How?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why Unreal's not letting me make this AI work for some reason.
Another game that I'm mildly interested in is Crimson Desert. Kenny's been playing it a lot. And
I've
he
heard a lot
said
of good
it's
things about
made
it, other than the
well, he
writing.
said he said it's made by the same people who made Black Desert.
Yes,
I love Black Desert.
this is true.
Like, if Black Desert wasn't a PvP focused MMO, I'd probably still play it.
See, when you guys introduced me to Black Desert, we never touched the PvP, so I didn't even know it was a PvP focused MMO.
Yeah, it is. It's very much a PvP focused MMO, and that's what I hate about it.
Interesting. I think we'll just have to come back to AI later. I'm gonna just switch focus to widgets since a lot of our game's gonna rely on widgets. I feel like there was something that I saw in the news, like announcement wise, that I wanted to tell you about, and I don't remember, and I feel dumb.
Did they delay Fable, or is it still supposed to come out this year?
I've actually heard no news of Fable since you last talked about it with me, and I've been keeping
Yeah,
up with
no.
gaming news as of late, so kind of surprised I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, they haven't delayed it yet. See, that's another game I might stream today, is Fable. Might have to shoot Dan a message. Be like, hey, I'm streaming Fable 3.
Are you gonna do Fable 3 specifically?
Yeah.
Vertical box, indeed.
I kid you not, Casey. I spent days, literal days, trying to get Fable 2 to work on PC. And I'm talking like editing the code of the totally legal way to play it on PC, editing the total legal disc that you have to use to play it on PC, that kind of stuff. Literal days. And it still was like, yeah, after doing all this, you're still probably going to crash like every hour. I'm like, fuck it. I'm done.
Are you sure you don't want to just remake Fable?
Fable 2 is not even good. I just wanted to play
it. I love it's not even good. I was not expecting the it's not even good comment at all.
Yeah. Like, I beat it and I'm like, wait, that's the end? That's it? That fucking sucks.
We'll just make the buttons this big for testing purposes. It doesn't need to look pretty today.
Like, people like to joke about Fable 3's combat. Like, you could literally beat Fable 3 in its entirety by only using the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Because they cannot be blocked or dodged. But also, it's the same thing in Fable 2.
I recently watched a retrospective video on the Fable IP. Mm-hmm. It's an old video nowadays, but he talked about how in Fable 2 and Fable 3, if you spec into magic, there's a spell where you can hold the B button down and unleash like a big ol' AoE that stuns and kills everything. And he's like, both the games suffer really terribly from it.
Yeah, if you're playing Fable for the combat, you're going to want to play the first Fable game. And the only reason that combat is a little bit more intuitive is because instead of guns, you have bows and you actually have to aim.
You actually have to aim. Which basically is not a challenge, because the Fable characters are pretty wide, right? Like, they're pretty easy to hit.
Yeah. Like, they're easy games. Even on the hardcore mode, they're easy games. Well, you know me, I play Melee.
Yes, you do. Every day, every game.
Every game, Melee. It's funny that I like Toho games.
I love Toho games with no melee combat.
No, there's some Toho games that have melee combat.
Yeah, and
just a lot of them don't.
I was gonna say.
It's almost like it's a bullet hell or a shmup.
Or something like that. I mean, I play Toho Dystopia. Like, that's what I play a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
God, how many hours have I sunk into that game, actually? I've been playing it, like, whenever I just want to turn my brain off, but I don't want to play Division 2, that's what I usually end up playing. Toho Dystopia, here we go. I say here we go as I don't see it. There it is. According to Steam, I have 10 hours in Toho Dystopia.
Damn.
It's a really fun turn your brain off kind of game. And
it is very fun.
And I keep unlocking new stuff to make my runs better, and I'm just like, damn, stop that. I love you, but stop that.
games you would want, and they're all games that, like, yeah, I'd be mildly interested in, but I don't want.
Events, begin, play. I need to play an actual, like, Toho Bullet Hell at some point, too. Like, yeah, Toho Dystopia has Bullet Hell aspects, but it's not nearly as Bullet Hell focused. I mean, I still like the original arcade game of 1945. I still love that game. Oops. Like, when I was first trying to... Haha, it was not my first time. When I was reteaching myself Unreal 4 back in 2024, I actually used 1945 as my reference point for building that game. Okay, so if I do that, and then if I do this, hey, okay, so that's working. But the triple barrel cannon wasn't aiming where I was aiming. Would there be a reason for that? Event tick is still using the parent. Event tick, does the actor have tag player? If so, set the turret head to face that direction. It is still called turret head in the triple barrel cannon. Oh, you know what? Did I not add the declare owner function for the triple barrel cannon? Is that what my issue might be? That could absolutely be what my issue is. Well, no, because it should be tied in with the turret parent, declare owner. Oh, I didn't add declare owner after the... Yep. Okay, that makes sense. Yep, that's what it takes. Remember that, kids. Double check your work before you submit it to your teacher. In this case, my teacher is my own code. Yeah, I spent this whole week. I didn't stream on the weekdays this week because I wanted to work on upgrading my streaming assets. I spent way more time on that than I should have. It was so annoying.
I see you got a new model.
Yeah, I did. I made the new model, and I quote unquote debuted it for April Fool's Day. But instead of it being a joke, it's now a permanent change. I also remodeled the cafe environment, so that way I'm not using free assets from online. Though I haven't taken advantage of remaking the models yet. I need to do that. Like, I'm okay. Before I get into that nonsense, let me talk about some other things I actually accomplished. I used Stream Elements website to make a custom overlay, so that way I can have a banner on the top left to advertise my itch.io projects. For no other reason than, hey, people can see what I worked on. Neat. There's some other features that I added that are invisible because they wait for triggers to happen. Oh, below my monitor, chat will show up and then stay there for 30 seconds. So that's cool. Turns out that's a lot easier to implement than I expected. What else did I do? I guess that's it. Anyway, so I 3D modeled the cafe environment, right? And the original reason I did that was so that way I can use it in virtual cast. But I found out that virtual cast doesn't let you stream above 720p. And that really annoyed me. It's like, then what's the point, right? So then it was like, okay, fine, you know, whatever. I'll make the cafe environment for that, right? Well, for some reason, it doesn't render the cafe environment correctly. And I can't tell if it's because of a Unity thing or if maybe specifically the engine that they use for their project is just kind of bugged. But I couldn't get it to render correctly. And when you try to go into the cafe in VR, it's painful. It is so painful. So I'm 50-50 on researching alternatives or building my own VTuber program, so that way I can use the cafe environment for really cool Twitch ideas. For example, most VTuber streaming software doesn't let you have AI, which duh, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a game. You don't need AI actors walking around in your environment. But wouldn't it be cool if every time someone followed, an NPC walked up to my desk and dropped a tip in my tip jar?
Yeah.
Or I could have part-time workers animated in the backgrounds of my stream, just serving coffee. Like, I have a ton of ideas for it, but it would be, I don't know enough about how model tracking works in Unreal Engine. I'd have to do a ton of research for that. So, a project for probably distant future, but I would like to look into that at some point. Am I doing something wrong?
Maybe.
Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. If I go to my save file, single barrel cannons count. Yep. I am. Why did I code it this way? Okay, so to describe the issue. In the customization actor, we can spawn our turrets, right? It even saves it into this little array, which is like a little bin. And then that bin gets saved here. It saves to our save slot. It permanently remembers where we wanted that turret to spawn and how many turrets we wanted to spawn. Issue being that when we want to spawn it in the combat level, I made the super wise decision to ask the save how many we're spawning rather than just looking at the array. So that was dumb. So I think if I just do this, that might fix the issue. We'll find out. If I put a single barrel cannon there and a triple barrel cannon there and then go to the level, I get nothing because that's not how that works. Yep. Love this.
Still can't believe Code Vein 2 doesn't have multiplayer. That's wild.
I'm still sad about that because Code Vein was so much fun co-op.
It's like, hey, play Borderlands 4. I couldn't finish Borderlands 3. You think I want to play Borderlands 4?
There we go. Now it's all working. That only shaved like an hour off my life. Update the Word document and then we'll call the stream for today. I'm feeling my brain melting. Okay. Let's make a note in bold and all caps. AI not moving. Research later. Okay. We fixed the weapon spawning, so that's cool. Fixed. Weapon. Spawning logic. From checking where it counts in save slot to simply utilizing turret transform array. Fixed triple barrel cannon aiming. Cool. We didn't get a whole lot done today, but we did talk through a lot of ideas. We worked with Joe on figuring out what the game's design needs to look like. So we'll call that a small victory. Man.
Joel.
I'm just so out of it right now. Anyway, thanks to everyone who tuned in. Thanks to everyone who came in to chat. We'll pick this back up next time.